welcome to this week's golf betting preview of the Northern Trust. It's the opening event of the FedExCup playoffs, with 125 players battling it out to advance into the top 70 and next week's event. Straight to the betting for the event held at TPC Boston. Bryson DeChambeau at 12 to 1 is my main selection. DeChambeau won at TPC Boston on his last start at the course in 2018. It wasn't used last year, but a return this season in his current form with his monstrous hitting bodes well for another victory. DeChambeau is playing superbly this year, and his extra clout off the tee should play into his hands at what is effectively a bomber's track. And DeChambeau comes in off his best performance in a major after finishing fourth at the PGA Championship. This is a huge confidence booster for a big-time player that will fancy notching another victory this week. Recently, he won at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and no one has been playing as consistently as DeChambeau since the sport returned following lockdown. His stats are immense. He leads the tour for strokes gained off the tee, birdie average, and scoring average, and finally driving distance. I mean, this is a hugely impressive concoction of stats which show that both his long game and his scoring around the greens are in fine fettle. DeChambeau looks a pick at the head of the market, and at 12 to 1 is a confident selection. Next best for me, Jason Day at 25 to 1. The Australian comes in with red hot form after notching 4 consecutive top 7 finishes. This includes 6th place at the WDC St Jude Invitational and 4th most recently at the PGA Championship. The big time Australian is heading back into top form at just the right time. He's 34 under par for his last 4 events, all of them staged on difficult courses. He also has course form to boot at TPC Boston, 2nd place back in 2010, followed by a 3rd 1 year later. Jason Day only needs his putter to warm up slightly, and then he'll surely be back in the winner's circle. It could come as soon as this week on the bentgrass greens. The 25 to 1 shot is a strong fancy this week. Next up, I'll go with playoff specialist Billy Horschel at 50 to 1. He's always a player worth following when he builds momentum, and he comes in this week off a very impressive runner-up finish at the Wyndham Championship. He spoke confidently afterwards, and he knows that this is the time of the year when he tends to peak. He's confident in the state of his game, and he'll head to a venue where he has played well in the past. Go back to 2014, and Horschel finished 2nd place at the event. He then went on to win back-to-back tournaments to land the FedExCup. The American can't be discounted this week, and he will be eyeing up another FedExCup title. This certainly is not out of the question for a repeat, and Horschel goes into the book as a strong each-way selection at 50 to 1. I'll add Matt Wolff at 60 to 1 as my next pick. He's a hugely impressive talent who comes in off a stunning major debut performance when he finished 4th at the PGA Championship. His display at Harding Park was outstanding from tee to green. Some brilliant ball striking, and he said he hit the ball as well as he has throughout his young career. And it's extremely encouraging. Another course tie, though, is his first PGA Tour victory came last year at the 3M Open. TPC Twin Cities was designed by Arnold Palmer. He also designed this week's event at TPC Boston, and there is undoubtedly course correlation between the two. Both are low-scoring tracks, and I fancy Wolff to flourish on his debut in Boston this week. 60 to 1, Wolff is a dangerous runner. Finally, for my outside selection this week, I will go with Russell Henley at 125 to 1 each way. The American is hitting the ball supremely this season, and he comes in off 9th place at the Wyndham Championship. It's followed on from a recent 7th place finish at the Workday Charity Open at Muirfield Village. I mean, his long game stats this season are phenomenal. He's 3rd for strokes gained approaching the green and 3rd for greens in regulation percentage. Henley normally relies on his short game and a warm putter, but it's been a complete role reversal this year when he's struggled on the greens, but his long game is in phenomenal shape. There were a few signs last week at Sedgefield that Henley was finding a bit of confidence on the greens, and that bodes well for his return to TPC Boston. This is a track where he finished second back in 2014, and hitting the ball in the best form of his career, Henley can't be ruled out at 125 to 1 as an outside shot. Quick recap on those selections sees Bryson DeChambeau at 12 to 1 is my main selection, followed by Jason Day at 25 to 1, Billy Horschel at 50s, Matt Wolf at 60 to 1, and finally Russell Henley at 125 to 1 each way. Best of luck with your bets this week. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and enjoy the golf this week. I'll be back next week for the latest FedEx Cup playoff event.